Today we're going to be talking about the properties of parabolas when you graph a quadratic equation. This is section 5.1 and 5.2 in the Algebra 2 book. Some vocabulary that you need to know: parabola is the graph of a quadratic equation. The axis of symmetry is the vertical line that divides the parabola into two mirrored images, the left and the right side. The equation for the axis of symmetry will be x equals and then whatever the value of x is at the vertex. The vertex of a parabola is either the minimum or maximum point for your parabola. If your parabola points up in the air like a smiley face, you have a minimum. If your parabola points down in a frowny face, then you have a maximum. If a, which is the leading number of your equation, the one with x squared, if that's positive, then your parabola is going to point up like a smiley face and have a minimum. If a is negative, meaning the number with x squared is a negative, then your parabola will point upside down. It'll have a maximum. Roots, zeros, and x-intercepts all mean the same thing. These are the points in where the graph crosses the x-axis. Okay, here's our first example. In our calculator, we're going to graph y equals 4x squared plus 8x minus 4. Take a minute, go to y equals, type in 4x squared plus 8x minus 4. You should get a graph that looks like mine. You might have to zoom 6 to get it back in the standard window. Some crazy person had the calculator before you. Okay, now the question says we want to mark the vertex of the equation with a dot, which is right here. Is this a minimum or maximum point? It's a minimum. And we're going to find the coordinate. Go to second trace, minimum in your calculator. And your calculator is going to ask you to set some left bound and right bound. So it's going to ask you some questions. Take your cursor and move it somewhere on the left side of the minimum point to set a left bound and hit enter. Take your cursor and move it somewhere on the right side of the minimum point and hit enter to set a right bound. Hit enter for guess, and the minimum should come out to be about -1 and -8. You might have -0.999999999. That's just -1, and then -8. Draw the axis of symmetry. This is the vertical line that cuts our parabola in half, matching the left and the right side together. The axis of symmetry goes through the x value of the vertex. X here is -1 at the vertex, so x equals -1 is the axis of symmetry. The x-intercepts are the points where we cross through the x-axis. If you use your trace key to just kind of trace about where they are, we're going to look at them later on in a later lesson, but they're about -2 on the x-axis and about 1/2 on the x-axis, somewhere around there. Alright, look at this next example. There's two examples for you to try. I want you to try the first one. Find the vertex and the axis of symmetry. Pause the video until you're ready to look at the answers together. On number 1, when you graph this equation, 2x squared minus 8x plus 8, we have a minimum point to go find. You want to use second trace minimum, set your left bound to the left of the minimum, hit enter. Set your right bound on the right of the minimum and hit enter for guess. You should get 2 and 0. Now some of you might not have gotten 0 for y, but look at the number that you got and see if it has an e in it. If it's like 2.7 e -4 or 1.8 e -18, anything with an e means 0. The e stands for scientific notation. They are trying to give you a number that would have a decimal number of zeros in front of it. Like 1.2 E10, -10 means that you move your decimal 10 places to the left. Just always round that to 0 and you'll be good to go. Anytime you see the E stuff, it means 0. On number 2, we have a -x squared, so this means our parabola is going to be pointed upside down. The process is the same, but this time you're finding a maximum point. So when you use second trace, go to maximum, not minimum this time. Left bound on the left side of the hill, hit enter. Right bound on the right side of the hill, hit enter for guess. You should get about -1.5 and 0.25. Now the axis of symmetry is the vertical line that cuts our parabola in half. Goes through the x value of the vertex. So here the axis of symmetry for number 1 would be x equals 2, and for number 2 the axis of symmetry would be x equals -1.5. A word problem. Suppose a hockey player makes a scoop that releases the ball with an upward velocity of 34 feet per second. The function h equals negative 16t squared plus 34t models the height. Will the ball ever reach a height of 20 feet? If not, how high will it reach? We're going to graph this in our calculator, but you're going to want to use zoom and then scroll down to number 0 where it says zoom fit. The parabola that you get when you graph this equation is a very large parabola and it goes off your screen. So zoom fit to get it back on your screen. We are going to find a maximum, second trace maximum. Set your left bound on the left side of the hill, hit enter. Set your right bound on the right side of the hill, hit enter for guess. And your maximum is about 1 something and 18 something. The 1 represents how many seconds it takes to reach the maximum. The 18 represents how many feet it goes to the maximum. So no, we're never going to reach 20 feet because the maximum or highest we go is 18 feet for this equation.